Oop, I was about to say, put me in focus. I only have about 10 minutes to talk before this thing shuts down, which is fine because that's all I have, really. I want to go ahead and write this script and lay down and then get up early so I can film a video and get it out and then go to work. Um, so, right now is not the best moment in life. It just seems like, and maybe this is just what marriage is, but it just seems like very often, especially, my husband and I are butting heads over something, and it's usually my fault. I think maybe with men, they're just, most men, they're kind of smooth sailing, don't rock the boat. And then women, we're always coming up with something new that we want to do, or something that we've did that they asked us not to. And right now, I know that I won't even say like, too long, but like 3 years from now, when I'm on the verge of turning 30 years old and I look back on this time, and it is November 28th of 2018, and I think back on here, I'm going to realize that it wasn't as bad as it seems. It's always tough when you're actually in the moment because you can't see outside of it, or and what'll happen and where you'll end up. And I just feel calm, and I believe without a doubt that I'll be fine. And my husband is handling a decision that I have made, and he's not handling it well. And that's okay, because that's just how he's handling it. I worry about him, and I think he thinks I don't fully understand his position on things. And I just want him to have more of an open mind and have more faith. And let me go ahead and just say what it is, instead of just like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, I didn't tell him this, but my job with Chase, I wasn't fired. I had put in my 2 weeks notice, and I left ahead of my 2 weeks. I just couldn't take it anymore. And this is a conversation that we've had all the time, and he's well aware that I'm miserable at my job, and his job is no picnic, and he doesn't like it either. But he told me tonight, that that's enough for him. He doesn't like his job, but he works it to take care of us, and that's enough for him. And for me, it's not enough. And just going to a job, and because of how my emotions are, and I feel like he's better able to internalize it than I am in certain aspects. And I take that for granted, because he was telling me of how stressed he'd be if I wasn't working, a job where I get a paycheck every 2 weeks to help along with the house. Anyway, but for me, I just can't. I'm just at my breaking point when it comes to jobs. And I left, and I made the decision not to tell him that I left. And, of course, I eventually told him that I got fired, and it was believable because it was going to happen. It just didn't happen at that time sooner than we anticipated. But I did have a job interview lined up. I got the job, and that's where I'm at now. And it's not collections like I was in before. And collections is a little bit, it's hot in collections, but I'm in another call center having to deal with customers on the front line, and I don't want to do that. I desperately want a job with doing video editing, and where I'm the talent on, on air, and I have control over, what I do and put out, and I do with my YouTube channel. And I want to do my YouTube channel full time. The problem with that is, and I understand my husband's concern, is that right now it does not supplement what I'm currently getting at my job, that is, more secure, or more secure in the sense that as long as I show up, I'll get it every 2 weeks. YouTube, yeah, with the climate, and, if you know about that, it could be hit or miss. Things change. And also, it's only pays out once a month. So my husband still gets paid bi-weekly, but right now we're on a schedule where we both get paid. We both get a paycheck. We get a paycheck at least every week from one of us, that we depend on. And then, but I guess that's not the part that I'm most concerned about. What I'm thinking of is the fact that I get health insurance through this job. And it's not for me that I'm concerned on, it's for my daughter that concerns me. So, we wouldn't have health insurance if I do leave this job. Of course, he suggested that I meet him halfway and I go part-time. But when I tell you that I can no longer, my soul can no longer handle being at that position. I'm considering giving it another month to at least try to somewhat prepare for the transition. And I will do what needs to be done to see if I could get Layla medical assistant through the government. Her next appointment isn't until next year. Hopefully nothing happens between now and then. But my soul can't handle it anymore. And the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I knew that it was coming to where I would not be able to stand doing these type of jobs because I don't like it. It's not where I want to be. I get up like, just like most people, like, damn, I got to go to work. I don't like this job. I'm spending all of my time here when I could be spending my time investing in my channel. But where my husband is coming from is that until I make enough to supplement my income, he's going to have to pick up the slack. And I hate when he uses that, picking up the slack, because he acts like he's had to do that for years or some shit. The only time where I was out of work for a long period of time, and it was for like let me see, it was from I'll say August, September, October, November. I was out of work for 5 months. I did put in my 2 weeks at my job because it was the job where I was in collections and I hated it. And I was pregnant, and it worked out because I was so sick during my pregnancy until I was 7 months pregnant. So, but as soon as I was well and I saw what it was doing to him, trying to keep up with things, that I got up and I got a job. I know things are different now because we do have a child to consider, but I've never left him hanging. And if the YouTube thing didn't work out, I would just go ahead and be like, hey, I need to go back and get a regular job, but I want a career. And this is the way for me to start doing that. It may be enough for him to just go to JCPenney and make enough for us to make it. But I want a career. I want to do something that I enjoy, where I'm not, having a goddamn attitude, and I'm making money. So my time is winding down. And I know that, like I said, in a few years, when I watch this video, that it won't be as bad. And I know that we'll be in a place where my husband is, and I hope that he remains my husband. You just never know. And I get concerned about that because we are different. And I feel like our differences is what's going to cause us to drift apart, especially with what he has being enough and with me wanting more. And I kind of want him to want more too, and to have that, big out there kind of thing. And, he was saying there's no guarantee. And I was saying, you're right. There's no guarantee that job that I have will be there tomorrow. Something could happen and I could lose that job, not for them firing me, but maybe something wrong with the building, or there's layoffs. Anything could happen. There's no guarantees. So why can't I try this? And I just wanted him to say that he supported me. That's all I wanted. That, I'm scared about this. I don't know how it's going to go out, but, he keeps saying that, oh, if you imagine if you would just post all the time how much money you'd make. And I was just telling him, I come home from work and I'm mentally exhausted from having to put up a front and stressed out dealing with these people that I don't want to have to deal with. And then I got to come home and we both have to, I have to deal with my daughter just like you do. And then the house, chores and all this other stuff. So you expect me between all of that to find time to do a video like I'm about to do, and then still have the energy to get up and go to work. Just and he's like, well, we're different and we process things differently. And that's in all relationships. So I hope this isn't one that breaks us, a situation that breaks us, because I enjoy being married to him. And there's honestly no one else that I want to continue being with. So hopefully, even, not even 3 years from now, but hopefully in a few months from now, 6 months from now, I could look back on this and be like, it wasn't as bad as it seemed at the time. And we got through it just like we get through everything else. But all right, that's enough for right now.